In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 7.5mm fisheye 2 from 7artisans. Of course, as you've guessed, oh, look at that. I can stretch the whole way and still not get to the edge of the frame. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit of fun, of course. That's what the lens is all about, basically, a bit of fun. It's cheap, about £129, and potentially an improvement on the previous version if you've used it. So let's have a look at it up close, throw up a lot of random, hopefully less grey samples, and see how we get on. And yes, this is my house. Nice bit of packaging, all things considered. Let's pop this open so you can see what's up. Got a bit of a, oh, there's the English side, bit of an instruction manual, fair enough. Now don't forget with your Fujifilm to set it to shoot without lens. If you've been around long enough, you already know. It's all metal, 265 grams. We've got a minimum focus distance of 15 centimeters, which should be interesting to play with. I do like this metal hood there. As you can probably guess, you're not going to get any screw-in filters on there as far as I can tell. So if you're going to use filters for any reason, you're going to need the square ones. And we've got a focal length of 11.25mm, 35mm format equivalent. Angle of view 190 degrees, very fishy. There's a lot of glass. There's 11 elements in 9 groups. It's an aperture of 2.8 to 16. That's a very smooth declicked aperture. Manual focus, not so smooth. Actually goes beyond infinity down to the 0.15 right there. Decent ridges there. Printed on text. That printed on text there isn't really my favourite. I'm not actually convinced it's completely straight. But otherwise, things seem to be pretty solid. £129 retail. Let's carry on with the random samples and then have a chat about it. Apparently the lens is more sturdy and durable than the previous version, but for me it's pretty much the same experience initially, with a nice all metal body. Decent little weight to it at 265 grams. You know, it's the kind of thing that you could just throw in your pocket or your kit bag for a fun shot here and there. Now usually fisheye lenses have very limited use and should be used like the icing on the cake, but there are certain genres like skateboard photography that definitely would benefit from this lens. It's just a shame that current restrictions don't allow for that right now, so that's why, you know, you're stuck with a lot of random local tourism, but hey, it's all good fun. The focus ring is smooth enough, and focus peaking with the Fujifilm system is a treat to use, of course, so this kind of lens is not a problem. Now for your typical wide shot, you could just stick it to infinity, go to say f8 and just go wild. Now I was a little bit annoyed that it goes beyond infinity. I lost a couple of shots of that, but let's just put that down to user error more than a problem with the lens per se. The aperture ring though, it's okay. It moves fine, it's easy to operate, but it is declicked, and that's not the way forward for me. Clicks basically would have helped me to move through the range a lot easier, more accurately, especially when I've got my frame set up, got my fingers and my feet out of the shot. For me, a clicked aperture is just a better, more practical way forward, but I kind of get why they're doing it, maybe. 7artisans say that the glass has been improved in this version, and we can say that overall it produces nice sharp images. Naturally, the center is much better, and you'll want to play around with lining up the horizon accurately, maybe using the virtual horizon function on your camera. But you know, as it's a 190-degree angular view, it's not a rectilinear lens. Distortion is clearly king. So you can have a bit of fun pushing it to the extremes, of course, as well as trying to get a nice, fairly even image. And that's before correcting it, let's say, in post. Image quality wise though, yeah, it does render colors very nicely, and it's definitely, you know, very competitive at this price point. You might find it better to shoot in RAW, or you can still squeeze a bit of dynamic range out of the beautiful JPEGs that the Fujifilm uses. All the images in this video are completely unedited, and yes, some of them could have been tweaked a bit more, as I did for Instagram, just to touch on the exposure. Found the lens was quite forgiving when shooting video, and it worked pretty well with the IBIS of the X-T4, and for some it might well be a cheapo vlog option too. For me, throw in the kit bag, throw in the travel bag, hybrid, bit of fun more than anything though. At a retail price of £129, it might well be worth giving a go then. If you're up for a bit of fun and you've never used a fisheye lens before, why not? Now, it's obviously not a lens for a critical shooter, a pixel peeper, or even 99.99% of pros out there, of course, but it might be a fun one for getting a crazy large group shot from above, let's say, or those dance floor snaps, stuff like that. You know, the icing on the cake of a much larger, more optically normal shoot. Now, I've always had a small soft spot for fisheye lenses, but I appreciate that they aren't for everybody, and as we said, for everything. And that's why I think the price for this, especially given the overall quality of this lens from 7artisans, is pretty fair. But let us know if you've used the lens in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so we can keep putting out videos. Stay safe, and I'll see you very soon.